Parker Schnabel is one of the most recognized faces from the Discovery Channel's hit reality show, Gold Rush. Over the years, he has gone from being a teenager learning the ropes of gold mining to becoming a millionaire miner with global fame. Yet, while Parker's journey has inspired millions, it has not been without controversy. From behind-the-scenes rumors to his own candid admissions about the harsh realities of mining, people have often said there were warnings about him. These warnings were not necessarily about Parker being a bad person, but about how difficult, risky, and sometimes brutal his chosen lifestyle could be. Despite the glamour that television shows around him, Parker has opened up about the sacrifices he made, the emotional toll of mining, and his unwillingness to pass this profession on to his future children. In this article, we will explore Parker's journey, the success and challenges he has faced, and why so many people believe the warnings about him should have been taken more seriously. His story is not just about gold, it is also about hard work, family, sacrifice, and the difficult choices that come with chasing success. Born in Haines, Alaska, Parker grew up surrounded by the mining culture that defined his family. His grandfather, John Schnabel, was a legendary figure in the mining community and served as both a mentor and an inspiration for Parker. While many kids his age were enjoying a carefree childhood, Parker spent his teenage years learning about mining equipment, land claims, and the patience it takes to find gold. When he first appeared on Gold Rush at just 16 years old, viewers were surprised by his maturity and determination. Instead of treating mining like a hobby, Parker took it seriously and wanted to prove himself to both his family and the audience. The challenges were immense. Mining requires not only technical skill, but also financial management, leadership, and the ability to handle stress. At a young age, Parker showed these qualities, but it came at a cost. The warnings many people mentioned were about how mining can take over your entire life, leaving little room for normal experiences like school, relationships, or leisure. For Parker, those warnings were accurate, as his youth was spent largely on the mine site, often under extreme pressure to succeed. Gold Rush started as a show about ordinary people trying their luck in gold mining, but it quickly grew into one of Discovery Channel's most successful series. The show first launched under the name Gold Rush, Alaska, and it followed groups of men who risked everything to dig for gold during the economic downturn. In the beginning, it was filled with drama, equipment failures, and financial struggles, but that was exactly what made it appealing to viewers. By the time Parker joined, the show had already gained a strong audience, but his appearance gave it fresh energy. Fans were fascinated by the young man who carried himself with the seriousness of someone far older. Season by season, Parker took on bigger risks and mined larger amounts of gold, often outpacing older and more experienced crews. However, the warnings that surfaced were about whether Parker was pushing himself too hard. Viewers and even other miners worried that his determination to mine record-breaking amounts of gold might lead to burnout, financial disaster, or strained relationships. Parker's rise on Gold Rush was impressive, but it also carried signs of potential personal struggles ahead. On screen, Parker Schnabel often looked like a fearless leader who never backed down from a challenge. Off-screen, however, the truth was more complicated. Mining is not just about digging up gold. It requires dealing with unpredictable weather, broken machinery, employee conflicts, and the constant pressure of covering huge costs. For Parker, who managed crews and millions of dollars worth of equipment, the pressure could be overwhelming. In interviews, he admitted that while the show made things look exciting, the reality was exhausting and stressful. He often had to make tough decisions that could cost him friendships or lead to financial setbacks. One of the biggest warnings about Parker was that success in mining can quickly turn into failure if just one season goes badly. A wrong decision, unexpected weather, or bad ground could erase millions of dollars in potential profit. This constant gamble meant Parker was living with risks that most people his age could not even imagine. While he gained wealth and fame, he also admitted that his personal life suffered. Relationships were difficult, and he struggled to find balance outside of the mining world. Unlike many reality stars who flaunt their wealth, Parker surprised fans with his honesty about money and lifestyle. In one interview, he revealed that he did not splurge on cars, houses, or luxury items. Instead, he lived a simple life, often staying with friends and spending money mainly on experiences rather than possessions. He shared that he once took his father to a World Series game, and that he enjoyed planning trips with his mining crew as a way of rewarding their hard work. Parker admitted that he values shared memories more than material things. However, these revelations also shocked people who assumed that someone worth millions would live a more glamorous life. The warnings connected to this part of his story were about how mining, while financially rewarding, can isolate a person from ordinary milestones like owning a home or starting a family. Parker even confessed that his job made dating and relationships extremely difficult, as few people could understand his lifestyle. His openness about these struggles showed that behind the success was a young man still searching for balance and happiness. Parker's straightforward personality has made him both admired and criticized. He is known for being blunt, direct, and sometimes harsh with his crew. While some fans see this as a sign of leadership, others believe it shows arrogance or impatience. There were also moments when Parker openly stated that he would never want his future children to follow in his footsteps. For a family with such deep mining roots, this statement shocked many viewers. It was one of the clearest warnings Parker gave about the reality of gold mining. That it is grueling, stressful, and often not worth passing down as a legacy. He admitted that while mining gave him success, it also consumed much of his youth and left him with regrets. Some critics claimed that Parker's honesty about the downsides of mining might damage the reputation of Gold Rush, while others applauded him for being real. Either way, his comments reinforced the idea that the warnings about him and his lifestyle were not just gossip, but reflections of hard truths. As successful as Parker appeared, not every season went smoothly. Mining is unpredictable, and even the best crews face setbacks. There were times when Parker had to sell equipment just to cover costs, raising suspicions that he was facing serious financial problems. His normally tough approach to negotiations softened, and people began to notice that he was under immense pressure. Crew members and even fans could see that Parker was carrying the weight of high expectations. This showed another side of the warnings about him, that mining is not just a path to riches, but also a dangerous financial gamble. A single bad season could wipe out years of progress. The pressure to deliver results for the cameras and for his own business pushed Parker to the edge more than once. Viewers who only saw the final gold totals often missed the emotional and financial strain that came before them. Parker's story revealed that success in mining is fragile, and even someone as skilled as him was not immune to failure. As of today, Parker Schnabel remains one of the most successful and recognized gold miners in the world, thanks largely to his role on Gold Rush. But his journey also serves as a lesson. The warnings about Parker were never just about him personally. They were about the reality of choosing a life built around mining. It is a profession that demands sacrifice, resilience, and constant risk-taking. Parker himself has admitted that while he has no regrets about pursuing mining, he would not want his children to inherit the same struggles. That honesty gives his story a powerful message. Success comes with hidden costs. Fans admire him not only for the gold he has mined, but also for the way he has opened up about his challenges. His story reminds us that every success has a price, and that sometimes the warnings people give us are worth listening to. Parker's legacy is not just about ounces of gold, but about showing the world the truth behind the glitter. One of the strongest influences in Parker Schnabel's life was his grandfather, John Schnabel. Known as the wise old miner of Gold Rush, John was admired not only by fans of the show, but also by Parker himself. Before Parker became the face of modern gold mining on television, it was John who taught him the basics of mining, leadership, and responsibility. Viewers often saw John giving Parker advice that was both practical and emotional, reminding him that success was not only about the gold, but also about the people working beside him. John's passing in 2016 marked a turning point in Parker's life. Many fans noticed that Parker seemed more serious, more determined, and even more burdened after losing his mentor. The warnings about Parker's future often included questions about whether he could handle the enormous responsibility without his grandfather's guidance. Mining is not just about digging the ground. It is about confidence, wisdom, and the courage to lead people. For someone so young, John's absence meant Parker had to grow up quickly and take on challenges that might have been easier with his grandfather's steady advice. Even now, Parker often credits his grandfather for shaping the person he has become, proving that the family legacy is one of the most important parts of his story. Running a gold mine is not a one-man job, and Parker Schnabel quickly learned that success depends on teamwork. Over the years, he managed crews made up of people older than him, often with more life experience. This was both a blessing and a challenge. On one hand, having skilled workers helped him achieve massive gold totals. On the other hand, leading people who questioned his decisions or doubted his abilities often caused conflict. Fans of Gold Rush saw Parker lose his temper, argue with crew members, and push people to their limits. Some viewers criticized his leadership style, calling him harsh or impatient, while others argued that his tough approach was necessary for such a high-risk business. The warnings about Parker often pointed to this issue. Being a young boss in such a dangerous and stressful industry could burn bridges and leave him isolated. Yet Parker also showed growth. With time, He learned to value loyalty and respect, rewarding his crew with experiences like international trips and celebrations. These moments revealed that Parker was not just a tough boss, but also someone who cared about the people around him. The balance between discipline and compassion remains one of the key challenges of his leadership journey. While Gold Rush entertains millions of viewers with dramatic discoveries and massive gold hauls, the truth behind gold mining is far less glamorous. Parker has often spoken about the brutal conditions miners face. Freezing temperatures, heavy machinery, dangerous terrain, and endless hours of work make mining one of the most demanding professions in the world. For Parker, this meant sacrificing not only his youth but also his personal well-being. He admitted that his health, sleep, and social life were often neglected during intense mining seasons. Many of the warnings people gave about Parker focused on this issue: the physical and emotional toll of mining. Unlike office jobs where mistakes can be corrected with time, in mining, one wrong move could mean millions lost or even serious injury. Parker's willingness to take on this responsibility impressed viewers, but it also highlighted the risks he faced every single day. His story serves as a reminder that gold mining is not a guaranteed path to riches. It is a gamble that requires resilience, toughness, and the ability to handle disappointment. The warnings about Parker were, in many ways, warnings about the dangers of the mining industry itself. Another layer of complexity in Parker Schnabel's life is the pressure of being a television star. While Gold Rush gave him fame and a platform, it also placed his every move under public scrutiny. Millions of viewers watched his successes and failures, often judging him without knowing the full story. Parker admitted that the cameras sometimes added stress, as he not only had to deliver results for his business, but also for the show's entertainment value. Fans expected drama, tension, and record-breaking gold totals, which only increased the weight on his shoulders. The warnings about Parker included the idea that fame could distort his reality. Some feared he might become consumed by the need to perform for the cameras, rather than focusing on long-term stability. Others believed that being in the spotlight at such a young age could affect his ability to form genuine relationships or live a normal life. Despite this, Parker handled fame with surprising maturity. He often ignored gossip and stayed focused on his work. Still, the constant attention serves as a reminder that television success comes with hidden costs. And Parker's journey was never just about mining. It was also about living under a microscope. To fully understand Parker Schnabel's story, it helps to compare him with other miners from Gold Rush. Todd Hoffman, one of the original stars, approached mining with big dreams, but often struggled to achieve consistent results. Tony Beats, another fan favorite, was known for his bold moves, creative methods, and sometimes ruthless decisions. Parker, however, stood out because of his focus, discipline, and long-term planning. Unlike Todd, he rarely relied on luck, and unlike Tony, he often admitted to the personal costs of mining. Fans often debated whether Parker's serious personality made him more successful than his peers, or whether it robbed him of enjoying life. These comparisons highlighted the warnings surrounding Parker. While he was undoubtedly skilled, his strict approach could lead to burnout or missed opportunities to enjoy the rewards of his hard work. Yet, when viewed alongside other Gold Rush stars, Parker represented a new generation of miners, one that combined traditional skills with modern thinking. His ability to outperform older, more experienced miners proved that determination and discipline could rival decades of experience. However, it also showed that success is not just about methods but also about mindset and sacrifice. Looking at Parker Schnabel's journey, it becomes clear that his story carries lessons far beyond gold mining. At its core, it is about ambition, sacrifice, and the price of chasing big dreams. The warnings about him remind us that success often comes with hidden costs, whether in the form of stress, strained relationships, or personal sacrifices. Parker's honesty about not wanting his children to inherit his profession shows that even the most successful paths may not be worth repeating. For fans, his story is both inspiring and cautionary. It inspires people to chase their dreams with determination, but it also warns them to think carefully about what they might lose in the process. Mining, like many high-risk careers, can bring fortune and fame, but it can also bring exhaustion, regret, and isolation. Parker's willingness to share both sides of his story makes him unique among reality TV stars. Instead of just showing the gold totals, he has given viewers